It's crazy. I'm loving it, living the American life, trying to do it. It's crazy, you know. So I had to learn how to drive out here, which was fun. To get a car, obviously, which I just almost couldn't get. You have to fill out forms, and then they want your credits. And in America, credits is very important. I don't understand the concept. I'm in the car dealership, and there's this Asian gentleman helping me. We're going through the forms, and he says, "So how long have you lived in America for?" I said, I haven't lived here for long. He said, "Oh, this not good for you. This not good for you." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "No, you cannot lease car in America unless you've been here a long time, because then you don't have credit, okay? You don't." I said, "Well, I've got the money to pay for it." He said, "Yeah, that's not the point, okay? That's not the point. In America, okay, in this country, we want credit, okay? Our country focus on credit. If you got good credit, you can buy anything. We don't care about money. We want credit." I said, "Well, credit is the assumption that you can pay back the money." He's like, no, that don't count here, okay? In our country, you have good credit, you can buy anything, okay? You got good credit. He's like, our country. And I was like, look, I hate to be rude, but when you say our country, do you mean our because you live here now, or our because the Chinese own it? And he was like, it's a bit of both, okay? Yeah, but no credit for you, no car. Okay, goodbye. I had to just buy myself a car, you know, it's a horrible thing, drive around. And that's the worst thing, driving in America, wow. On the other side of the road, you feel like a rebel, you know, until you see the other cars coming, and then it's not so much fun. You know how many times I did that, just going to the wrong side? And don't trust movies. It's not easy to do that whole thing. No, people don't just drive and no, they stop. They just look at you and go, "What are you doing?" In the movies, you drive past. "What are you doing?" Aren't you supposed to know? They don't drive. They just wait for you to turn around. And the street is so small. You're doing one of those turns, just watching them in your shame, just like it's horrible. I had to practice for months. It was the worst. I remember I drove into a street once. I thought I'd learned. It had been months. I'd been doing it well. And then I turned into the wrong way. And I saw this little old Asian lady driving towards me. And I was like, "No!" And there was nobody else. So I swerved the car around. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Yeah! Hero!" And I drove. And there were 50 cars coming this way. And I was like, "You bitch!" And I told my friend the story. I told him this. I was like, "Oh, this is what happened." And he was like, "Oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny." And he's like, "Who was driving the car?" I said, "A little old Asian lady." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you can't say that, man. You can't say that." I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you can't say she's Asian." I said, "Why not?" He's like, "Yeah, because that's racist." I said, "What, that she's Asian?" He's like, nah, if she's a bad driver and you say she's Asian, that's racist. So let me get this straight. Asians are not allowed to be called bad drivers. Is this not racism in itself? Everyone else is allowed the world of bad drivers. But if I'm driving on the freeway behind an Asian person and they're swerving around, and I go, "This bad driver, you drive like crap." And I pull up next to them, I'm like, "Oh, no, sorry. You're not a bad driver. You're just Asian. I'm sorry." Not racism in itself. It's madness. So now what I had to do was get around using a GPS, you know? Decided to get one of those. First, I tried to be a cheapskate. I thought, oh, get a phone with a GPS. That was a horrible mistake. Bought myself one of those iPhones with Siri. Oh, your assistant, she talks to you. She listens to you. If you're American, she doesn't understand one word I say. I don't understand why. I speak English, and they're talking to her. Doom, doom. She's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Siri, please call Peter." "You want pizza?" No, cancel. "Siri, I need pizza." "You want pizza?" "No, Siri, I want pizza, not pizza." "You want pizza?" No, Siri, what's going on here?" "You want to, Peter, Siri, Peter, Siri, you're not making sense. Siri, are you having an attitude with me? You tell me. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Siri, just listen to me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Siri, just, bitch. Dialing mom. What the hell? This is horrible. I had to buckle down and buy myself a real GPS to get me around, which has been working like a charm. If you don't have a GPS, you get yourself one. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Just don't make the mistake I made and buy it from Craigslist. I bought one off Craigslist, and the guy who sold it to me didn't tell me that it was a Spanish language GPS, which was not so good. I didn't understand anything she says. Look, I still get around because the arrows are in English, thank God. But otherwise, it was just horrible. And I hated it the first few days, and then I fell in love with her. She's just, you know, I don't understand why more Americans don't speak Spanish. It's such a sexy language. I'm sitting there, and like all the men in here, you want to feel like a man. You get yourself a Spanish GPS. Oh no, you don't understand. Traffic never sounded sexier. It's just like, I just punch in random destinations and she guides me around. She's like, dum dum. Sigue toco de que para conocí. En 200 metros sería la de la cha. And I'm just like, oh shucks, Tom Tom. You say that all the time. This is sexy, you know? She guides me around. It's beautiful. I love that. I'm going to learn Spanish because of that. Spanish has gone up my list. I had a few languages in Spanish. Spanish was like 6th language. I spoke 4 languages in South Africa. And then the 5th language was going to be Japanese. And then Spanish was, but now Spanish has gone up. Japanese I've had to pause because of the earthquake. There's not that many of them traveling now. So it's sad. There's no one now. There's like walk around the streets, just, you know. But Spanish has gone up. Because I was getting good at Japanese, don't get me wrong. I was getting really good. You know, I could say, and it's a great language, it's powerful. Because you speak Japanese from your chest, it makes you feel strong. Hey there. Yeah, very strong. Whereas English you speak from the head and the chest. You know, do you know what I mean? You speak it head and chest. You wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this if you listen to many coastal girls in America. Like I've been in places like California where women insist on speaking English from their nose, which is not the correct. Yeah, like, oh my God, are you guys gonna like do this? And I was like there with Tiffany, and we were talking, and that's not the right way. You're not using your lungs. I know this because when I choked her, she sounded exactly the same. Then she's like, oh my God, you're like totally choking me right now, and I can't breathe, and this is so not on. I am so gonna tweet about this. This is like the worst thing ever. Oh, I am so dying. OMG. You know, it's horrible. Whereas Japanese is strong. Japanese, you speak from the chest, you know. A lot of the Americans are learning Chinese, I've seen. You know, Chinese, I see people say, you gotta learn Chinese. They're taking over. Chinese. Ni hao ma. Shi xing ni. Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true. Because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just, you know, they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English. And there's still people going, what comes after Q? 26. This is, you know, 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 5 years later, it's just horrible. Horrible. Japanese is easier. 3,000 characters in a stronger language. I mean, everything in Japanese is strong. Even the greeting. Konnichiwa. Power. Thank you. Domo. Arigato. Power. Yes, it's a great language. You can say other things as well, like kujire gambare, which means good luck, dolphin. Granted, not very usable in everyday language, but yeah, it works, I guess, you know, it works. I could also say other things like, niwa, 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 torigaita, which means, look, the chickens are running around. You laugh, but I've used this successfully on many occasions. By many occasions, I mean once. I was in an airport, standing at the baggage carousel, and this Japanese guy came and he stood next to me. And we're standing there, and I look at him, and I've been waiting for years to speak Japanese. I was super excited. I was like, what? This guy's Japanese. And he's like, I can hear you. said, oh, sorry, I thought I was thinking. Are you Japanese? He's like, yes, I am a Japanese. I was like, oh, konnichiwa. He's like, oh, konnichiwa. Pleasure to meet you. I said, oh, domo arigato. I said, oh, arigato gozaimashita. You speak very good Japanese. I was like, oh, yeah. So I looked over and I went, kujire gambare. I'm not a dolphin. But thank you for the good luck. I was like, I can't believe this works. I looked over, I was like, oh, niwa, torigaita. He was like, I don't see the chicken everywhere. You speak a very strange Japanese. Where did you learn? I said, I learned in all different places, all over my life. Why do you speak English with a Japanese accent now? I don't know. I get carried away. You freaking me out. I'm freaking out too. You guys have been so much fun, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming to the show. Yeah. Oh, there's some fans here. I love soccer. It's chilled. You hear it in the commentators when a game is being played. There's no statistics at all. Game starts off, the whistle blows, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this majestic match. It's Spain playing against Germany. Oh, and what a wonderful day it is. Look at the crowd, really excited. Oh, and the atmosphere is amazing, wonderful weather, and the guys are just like, oh yeah, John, you can feel it. The players look great. It's wonderful. What do you think's gonna happen today, Martin? Oh, nobody knows. I can't even remember the last time I saw a game this good. Americans will remember. Americans will go back to the finest statistic. The last time a black man scored using his left hand, jumping over a mixed race, half Indian, was in 1967 when they're like, what? This is madness. It's all about action in the sports as well, you know? As much action as possible. That's all about action in America. You guys are so action-focused, you will take the ball away from the other team if they do not give you enough action. I've never seen that in my life. That's a horrible way to bring people up. You just go to the other team, you go, hey, you guys, you take the ball, and you've got 24 seconds to get the ball in that net. 24 seconds! And if you don't do it, we're gonna give the ball to the other team. You hear me? We're gonna give the ball to the other team. Yeah, we know there's a lot of black guys. You try to get past them. That's up to you. Go! 24 seconds later, bah! You guys, you try. All about action, you know? Because America's different. It's different from the rest of the world. And you don't really know how different America is, though, until you get here. That's the one thing I will say. You know, you think you know. But then when you land in America, in your airports, that's when you know this place is different. Because American airports, unlike airports everywhere in the world, which have a certain level of joy and just all around happiness, American airports, they're like concentration camps. It's just, you know, it's just people walking barefoot in single file. Oh, it's no joke. There's even signs that say, no jokes. You're like, really? It's just insane. You walk through those airports, and you have to do things in American airports you don't do anywhere else in the world, you know? Like you have to take your shoes off. Your shoes come off, and you don't know this as a foreigner, but they don't care. They're like, yo, take your shoes off. I'm like, my what? Your shoes, take them off. I'm like, why? For safety, sir. I'm like, I'm keeping them on for your safety, my friend. You don't do this anywhere. I remember flying into Dubai one year, and as we get into the airport, this woman, an American woman, started taking off her shoes and And those guys, I mean, you must understand, when you're in the Middle East as a woman, you're already a sin. And now to be taking your clothes off in public, these guys lost their mind. They were just like, Hillary, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, I'm taking my clothes off. I'm taking, they're like, no, what are you doing? She's like, I'm taking them off. Why are you taking your clothes off? She's like, so the machine works. She's like, no, this is machine, not your husband. You don't need to get naked. Put your clothes on and walk through, you whore. You don't do it anywhere else. But then you come out here, you have to take off your shoes and you have to take your jacket off to walk through the metal detector. And they are mean about it. They will shout to you. They're like, you, take it off. And you don't know what to take off. You don't take it off anywhere else, so you don't know what to take off. So you're like, you, take it off. Take what off? Take it off, sir. Take what off? Take it off now. What? Your clothes. Take them. My clothes? And now you're standing there, this man shouting at you, telling you to take your clothes off. You feel like a child in a Catholic church. It's horrible. It's just, you're just standing there. I mean, I understand the need for security, but they don't need to shout at you. At least, if they tried to be nice, maybe if they chanted instead of shouting, instead of take it off, if they were like, take it off, you'd be like, yeah, woo, security, safe and sexy. They don't. This is a harrowing experience as you come in. And the worst is when you have to go through passport control. As Americans, you don't feel the pain, but as a foreigner, it's a whole different game. As Americans, you walk through to the U.S. citizens line, and they welcome you back like you on some secret mission. And you're just like, welcome home, sir. When you're a foreigner, you have to wait in a super long line, and then they tease you. The line goes right to the front, and then it comes back, and it comes back, and you finally get there, and you have to wait for that, and they're standing there, and the guys are like, sir, come on. Sir, step forward. Step forward, sir. Step forward. Forward. Back. Behind the line, sir. Back. Get back, sir. Get back. It's a stress. You're standing there, and now you have to answer questions. Horrible, like you don't understand. It's the stress, You're standing there and you don't want to get any of the questions wrong, because just like school, they'll send you back. So you stand there and you have to answer them into a microphone that's placed strategically low, almost so that you have to bow to the American as you answer every question of his. I ask you these questions you feel like you know the answers to, but when you're there, I just handed the man my passport, to which he replied, is this you? Never before have I felt so much pressure to look like myself. I was like, I was younger then. It's horrible. And then he starts rattling them off. It's your first time in the United States of America, sir? Yes. Your first time, sir, is that correct? Yes. Sir, what is the duration of your visit out here? I'm going to be here for 6 months. 6 months, sir? Is that correct? Yes. Sir, what is the purpose of your visit in the United States of America? I'm here for holiday. Holiday, sir? Yes. Which one? My one. Could you elaborate, sir? Holiday. Yeah, what do you mean holiday, sir? Like holiday, like, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, holiday. Yeah. Holiday. You mean vacation, sir? Battery. Yes, of course. This is horrible. You finally get in, You relax, get in, try and learn. I'm trying to learn America day to day. Got myself a place out in LA. That's why I've been staying for a few months. Live out in California in a wonderful area called Pasadena. It's wonderful. It's this quaint and neighborhood vibe. There's hummingbirds and butterflies, just, you know. It's really, really nice place, and I enjoy it, you know. The only thing is it's hard to start life in America. That's one of the hardest things I found. You have to get everything together, you know, like open a bank account, which was interesting. It was sitting there in the bank filling out forms, because when I got to a section when filling out the forms that you don't have back in South Africa anymore, and that is you have to fill out your race. You know, there's a box that says tick your race, and there's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, and other. And I was looking at the woman, and she was really helpful. She was like, she's this blonde woman, and she was like, yeah, you can go ahead and fill out everything you need to, and yeah, we'll just go ahead and open that bank account. I said, okay, I don't know what to do here. And she was like, let me have a look. Well, you can just, yeah, you just go ahead and tick whatever race you want to go with. I said, what do you mean, whatever race? She's like, well, look, it's just for statistical purposes, so like you can choose whatever you want, and then you can do it. And I was like, choose whatever? I was like, I've never been given that option before. And I looked at the boxes, and I mean, there was black. That's the reason I came. The black box was there. I was like, well, that's it. I'll choose it. But then I looked to the left, and there was the white box. And, oh, it looked good. It just... I mean, don't get me wrong. It was the same as the other boxes, but there must have been a reason it was first in line. It's just like, you know, that was prime box right there. That was just, I looked at that white box, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, and so I looked at her, and I said, any box? And she was like, yeah, any box. And I played it safe. I said, so I can go with black? She was like, you know what? A lot of them choose black. Yeah. And so just because she said that, I looked at her and I said, no, you know what? I'm white. I'm going with white. And then she did this thing that I've come to learn as the reaction of white liberal women in America. Whenever they hear something or see something that they can't truly comprehend, they don't agree with it, but for fear of being judged, they internalize their emotions. And then they almost have like this malfunction, like a robot. I don't know if it's amazing to see. Because as soon as I said white, I said, I'm going with white. She went, I'm sorry, did you say white? I said, yes, white. I'm white. She was like, okay, like white? Yeah. And I've learned, that's the funny thing about being mixed race, you know, is that people are always happy to say you're mixed, and you can say you're black, they'll be fine with that, they'll be fine, but you can never go white, ever. No, race is a one-way street, and black is that way. There's a cop directing you. No, you, that way, no, that way. It's just like, race is just, black is like a buffet. You can have as much as you want. No one will judge you. Eat all you can. Black, $12.99. You can go wild in black, but you can never, ever go white. Ever. No matter, even if you half and half, you can never go white. Even Yoda, like the great, he'd be as a Jedi, he'd come up to me and be like, too dark you are. You cannot, it's just crazy to me. You half and half. In fact, everyone that has a piece of anything other than white is reminded of that piece other than the white. You can have anyone, they'll be like, is she white? Well, actually, she's a 1/4 Cherokee. Yeah, she's a Cherokee 1/4. Yeah, and the other 3/4? Oh, yeah, white. But we don't focus on that. We look at the mistake. Yeah. In a few generations, she might be able to work that out, but not right now. She's Cherokee for now. It's interesting, you know, starting my life. And by the way, it turned out it wasn't for statistical purposes. A few months later, they found Bank of America was giving higher rates to Hispanic and black people. Yeah, there were higher interest rates, so it turns out white was right. Yeah. So you keep that color, buddy. Don't get rid of that. True. I got to go to Switzerland for the first time. One of my dreams. If you don't know this about me, I'll tell you why it was such a big dream of mine, right? My mother is a black woman, Xhosa woman, from South Africa. I grew up in South Africa, right? Molweni. My dad is a Swiss man from Switzerland, white man, right? And so I never got to go to Switzerland. And then when I got the chance, I never really made the time, and then I couldn't go there. And then finally now, we went to Switzerland for the first time. And it was liberating. You know, because here's the thing. My whole life,
I've always felt like my dad didn't really love me, okay? And then now, when I went and met him in Switzerland, I was like, no, he's just Swiss. They're all like that. It was a bit weird, though. It was a bit weird. I tried to surprise him, though. Right? I tried to surprise him by learning German. We hadn't seen each other for a while, and because he speaks German, I thought I was going to surprise him on the trip. You know, I went on Duolingo, did a bunch of studying, and I got to Germany, got to like practice the whole thing, got to Switzerland, I was like, oh, this is it. And I was ready. I was like, I'm going to surprise my dad. I planned to get to his house, knock on the door. He was going to open it, be surprised, like, oh, Trevor. Then I'd be like, Papa, ich spreche Deutsch. He was going to be like, oh, ich liebe dich. Be like, ah, die net am Protocol. It was going to be a whole thing. I had it all planned out. Didn't go according to plan. I got there. He was surprised. He was happy. But as soon as I spoke, I was like, Papa, ich spreche Deutsch. And he was like, don't do that. Don't do that, huh? No, don't do that. No. Learning German has been a weird journey for me. You know? Because I mean, I want to speak it because most of my family speaks it on my dad's side. But I've learned a few things about my German which haven't been great. I was in Germany visiting some extended family in a place called Cologne. Beautiful city. If you've never been, you should go. Stunning place. And one of my friends, Rolf, was with me in the city, right? And so one day Rolf turns to me and he's like, Trevor, you know, today maybe we should go have a traditional German meal, yeah? You want to eat something traditionally German? Yeah, we're going to take you, okay? And I was like, oh, that sounds amazing, Rolf. What are we going to have? He's like, okay, have you heard of Subway? So I don't think that's German, Rolf. He's like, nein, I'm just saying to understand the chain, right? Where you're going to be having the sandwiches and you're having the bread and you're choosing the toppings. I was like, yeah, no, Subway works, man. He's like, okay. So I want to take it to a German version, yeah? Better than that, better. Like with the best bread and the best meat, you have to go. And so he took me and he wasn't lying. And so we go to the sandwich shop. It's like 50 years old. Everything is in German. We walk in and I was like, oh, this is it. Might not be my dad's house, but this is where I can practice my German. And my friend Rolf looks at me, he's like, Trevor, would you like me to order? I was like, no, Rolf, I'll order the food. He's like, okay, you're going to buy the food? I was like, no, you're going to buy. I just want to order it. I just want to practice my German. He's like, but they might not understand you, yeah? Because you know German can be different. I was like, yo, I got this, Rolf, I got this. So I walk up to the counter. The woman was really friendly as well. She's like, Guten Tag, kann ich dich helfen? And I was like, Guten Tag! Ich will ein kleines Brotchen haben, bitte schön. Das schwarze Brotchen mit der Käse und das Schinken, bitte schön. Und gib für mich ein Pepsi-Cola, danke. And she shat herself. I'll never forget the look in that woman's face. She was petrified. She stared at me and she was like, der schwarze Hitler. Which means the black Hitler. Yeah. The way I inflect on certain words has a certain Führer feeling to it, apparently. I was devastated. Rolf thought it was hilarious. The whole ride home, we're in the car, he's killing himself. Oh mein Gott, der schwarze Hitler. Oh, Trevor, can you imagine if Hitler was black? It totally wouldn't have worked, yeah? Like, Rolf, it's not that funny. I try to learn German to connect with my family, and now I sound like one of the worst human beings in history. He's like, yeah, but it was totally funny. You should have seen yourself. It's like you were about to invade the meat section. Oh, my God. Oh, you should have. I was like, Rolf, it's not cool, man. I'm in pain right now. He's like, calm down, Trevor, calm down, yeah? Indulge me meine Schadenfreude, okay? He actually taught me a new word that day. Yeah, never heard it before. Schadenfreude. German word. Schadenfreude. Right? It means to take great joy in the pain and suffering of others. Fun fact, that word was never translated into another language. I wonder why. Pretty insane word, right? Schadenfreude. Why would you want that? To indulge in others' pain and suffering. Why would you? But then when I thought about it, I was like, it sounds terrible, but we all do it. Yeah, every single one of us in this room. We all experience Schadenfreude. You know? We all do. You know when you have Schadenfreude? It's when you're driving on the highway, yeah? And you're cruising along, everything's going well, and you look over on the other side, and the traffic is packed up, and you get that little feeling inside, like, I made the right choices in life. That's Schadenfreude. You know what Schadenfreude is? Schadenfreude is what happened when black women saw middle-aged white men crying after Disney said they were changing The Little Mermaid. That's Schadenfreude. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Grown men crying, this is ruining my childhood. They changed The Little Mermaid. She looks nothing like the original. Nothing? She looks nothing like the original? Really? Nothing? There is nothing that reminds you of the original Little Mermaid when you look at her. Nothing at all. You realize the only thing that changed is the color of her skin. This part of the color of her skin. The hair's red. The body is fish. That doesn't remind you of the Little Mermaid? That was the main thing that you recognized the Little Mermaid? Really? You know what Schadenfreude is? Schadenfreude is what everybody from Ireland and Kenya and Trinidad and Jamaica and South Africa and India all felt when the news came out and said, the royal family has bad news. People don't understand. People were like, no, are you laughing at this? Are you laughing at this? It's like, yes, first of all, but you're misunderstanding it, right? The royal family always gets sensitive about people responding to their bad news, but they don't seem to understand that's not really bad news. Every time the royal family wants us to feel sorry for them, is it really bad news? Huh? They'll be like, please, we ask you for your sympathy right now. We have lost Harry and Meghan. You've lost them? Like they're missing? No. Your favorite British couple has now become your favorite American couple. Oh. The royal family has bad news. Is it bad news? Yes, it is. The Queen has died. Died of what? Finishing life. Are you kidding me? I'm not saying someone shouldn't grieve, but she finished life. Do you know how many human beings don't get to do that? She finished it. She died as queen. Died of what? Old age. That means you finished the game. Done. Credits are rolling. Buried with the jewels. Hashtag winning. You want the colonies to be sad? Those are their jewels. Africans were like, can we have our diamonds back? They're like, no. The queen takes them with her. You kidding me? People are like, well, I mean, this is not the time to be talking about her. You shouldn't be saying bad things about her. You shouldn't be speaking ill of the dead. No, that's exactly what you should do. Yeah, the perfect time to talk shit about people is when they're dead. All right? Can we agree on this in society? Maybe we should start being nicer to each other when we're alive, and let's talk shit when people die. All right? Do that for me, people. Do that. When I'm dead, say whatever you want about me. When you see me in the streets, just say hi. You know why? Because I'm gone. Like, oh, these people up there and they're dancing on her grave. Yeah, that's what graves are made for. That's why they made them flat. The whole point was that people could come and dance on them. Otherwise, they would have made them slanted so you would slide off. And even in that, the queen is winning. She's got some of the best dancers dancing on her grave. Huh? Could you imagine Africans coming in, and they're just there, huh? Doing their thing. Then the Irish are like, we're up next. Hey, oh, save us some space on the grave. We've got the Indians coming in. Now it's our moment. Finally, everyone from the Caribbean, murder, she wrote. Give it up. One of my favorite things I used to love doing was watching horror movies and then judging people when they made stupid decisions. I love it. I watch horror movies, I wait for people to make stupid decisions, and then when they die, I'm like, you deserved it. Never makes sense. Never. You know, be someone being chased with like a guy in a mask and he's got a knife, right? The guy's walking, person runs to their car, they always fumble with the keys. Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing? If someone's chasing you with a knife and you get to a car, don't bother getting in, it's a waste of time. All you do is just run to this side of the car, and then you wait. They go that way, you go this way. You go that way, you go this way. Yeah, we can do this shit all day. People make the dumbest decisions in horror movies. I don't get it. My favorite is when people just have to hide. That's all they have to do. They just have to hide and shut up. For an hour and a half, they can't do it. Like in that movie, A Quiet Place. Have you watched that? One of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah? The one where the aliens, they don't see anything. They just use echolocation to figure out where everyone is. There's always the people hiding in the shed, just there like... You just have to be quiet. You can just chill. You don't just be there, chilling. You have to be sitting there playing Xbox quietly. No. There's always that baby. And there'll always be the moment where you can see the monster's given up. You know? The moment where the monster's like... And just as it's about to leave, just as it's about to go, there's always one idiot who jumps up like, I can't take it anymore! Come get me! Ah, dead. You deserved it. Because I never got it, right? I never understood. Why? All you have to do is wait. You just stay inside for long enough and the danger will subside. Why can't you do it? Why is it so hard to just stay inside? And then the pandemic hit. I was like, now I get it. Because we all hit our breaking point. Pandemic made people crazy. I thought we were all going to come together. That's what I believed. From all the movies I watched as a kid, I thought if humans were ever threatened with an existential threat, we would abandon every single fight we were having and we would come together to win. You know? I thought if that virus came, we'd all be there. We'd be like, all right, no more racism, no more sexism. Let's do this together. And we'd go and we'd defeat the enemy aliens, and then we'd come back and be like, all right, let's get back to the racism and sexism. It's like an Independence Day. That's what happened, remember? Yeah, that's what I grew up watching. Everyone in the world came together to fight the aliens. We stopped all of our... There was no politics. There was no nothing. We unified and we won. And then in real life, what do? We fought each other and we lost. We were supposed to be a team. Will Smith was supposed to be our hero. None of it went as planned. I wonder if that's how the dinosaurs went out, you know? Maybe they just couldn't agree on anything. Maybe some warned the others. They were like, there's an asteroid coming down to Earth. Other dinosaurs were like, asteroids are not real. It's a hoax. And rocks smashed into the planet. Dust covered the globe. All the dinosaurs were running around in panic. Ah, the dust is everywhere. Wear a mask, wear a mask. The T-Rex was like, I can't. In the United States of America, if you want to win an election, all you need to have is a strange voice. Simple as that. You want to be president of the United States? Get a strange voice, you're done. Yeah, forget policies, forget ideas, that's boring. You come out there, here am I, boo! Normal sounding ass bitch. No. You come out there with a strange voice, the people love it. You realize there's been no American president who has a normal speaking voice, none. Now, you can go back as far as you want. None of them spoke normal, none. Now, go back as far, like JFK. JFK, he didn't speak normal. He had that thing, it was like, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. That's not normal. I don't care what anybody says, that's not normal. You telling me that man was standing in a McDonald's ordering food with that voice? Because they're like, could I please get a #1 medium with fries? And I'll also have a McFlurry, please. What do you mean the ice cream machine is broken? That's not normal. No American presidents speak normal, none. Bill Clinton, he didn't speak normal. He always did that thing where it sounded like he was trying to seduce the audience. You know? They'd be like, I do not have sexual relations with that woman. What are you doing? No American president spoke normal, none of them. George Bush, he didn't speak normal. He always did that weird chuckly thing. He'd be like, we're gonna find the people that did this, and then we're gonna bomb a totally different country. Fool me once. That's not normal. No American president spoke normal, none. Barack Obama, he didn't speak normal. He always did that thing where it sounded like his voice was buffering. As Americans, we gotta try to get a faster internet. That's not normal. Joe Biden, he doesn't speak normal. Are you kidding me? He just like fades into mumbles every time he gives a speech. It's not normal. He'll be up there and be like, that's why the most important thing to understand is no dreams are defined. We're the finest Negroes. Come on, man. Come on. Hey, I mean it. Come on. That's not normal. Trump, that was the weirdest of all. Every other American president was predictable. You know, you understood the ebb and flow. Trump, you never knew what to expect. Right? The volume on his voice all over the place, inflection where it didn't make sense. Do you know how hard it was to figure out where to put the volume on your TV when watching a speech? I had to sit there and write it like a shitty DJ the whole time as you speak, because you wouldn't know where it would happen. He'd be up there. I think as Americans, we try and try, so try, big trying, all trying, and it is. But I know, and I think if we can, what we won't, but we will, but maybe, but. What? It's not normal. That's why I laugh whenever I come to Canada and watch your news. Every time I come to Canada, I turn on the news, and they'll be like, there's a Canadian scandal happening. Justin Trudeau in another scandal. He has the most adorable scandals. You kidding me? Compared to American presidents, what? And they're like, he's scandalous. Has he been convicted of anything? Then shut the hell up. And be like, he's scandalous. He's got the terrible, he slept at a rich man's house. Oh, that's adorable. My favorite scandal of Justin Trudeau's by far is the one where he went on a trip to India and then became Indian. That has to be one of the greatest scandals of all time. I remember when it broke. He took off, he was wearing a suit, he left Canada, waving on the plane, goodbye, goodbye everybody, goodbye. Got on, flew to India, landed, doors opened, and he came out, and he was already half Indian. He had the jacket on. But what was crazy was that as the trip progressed, he became more and more Indian each day. Clearly no one was telling him what was happening on the news in Canada because Canadians were losing it. They're like, this is disrespectful. How can you do this, eh? And he was out there and he was just becoming more and more Indian. It started with the top and then he went down to the pants. He had the full outfit and then he had the headdress. My favorite was when he walked into a meeting with Indian dignitaries and they were all wearing suits. This man walked into that meeting looking like he was about to audition for Bakban. You're like, what the hell is this? He was getting so Indian that I was hoping a moment would come where he'd be like in the middle of a speech, and I was just hoping suddenly he'd be like, can I just say how proud I am of the work we've done together as Canadians and as Indians? I was hoping that would happen. I was waiting for it. The biggest scandal of all time. He became Indian. I don't think it was that bad. I just think he tries too hard, to be honest. You know, I think Justin Trudeau tries too hard to show he's compassionate, tries too hard, you know? I don't think it's that bad. And look, I'm biased. I know I'm biased. I am. Because I too have Trudeau'd. I'll confess it here tonight. I too have Trudeau'd Canada. I too have tried too hard to connect with a group of people and it did not go well. My story happened in Edinburgh, Scotland. Beautiful place. If you've never been, go. Stunning. Everything. The place is full of history. The people are lovely and warm. The place isn't, but the people are. Everything is old. They love telling you that. Everywhere you'll go in Edinburgh, people will be like, oh, how old do you think that bridge is? You'll be like, I don't know, they're like 300 years old. You'll be like, oh, okay. They'll be like, that church, 500 years old. Meet my son, 800 years old. He looks 6, Scottish workmanship. But they were wonderful people. It was really great out there. And we were there for a comedy festival, okay? And what I do whenever I'm traveling is, if I get to be in the same place as my friends, we try and spend as much time together. And what we'll do is we'll order like food or we'll go out. And when we do that, we allow one person to designate the meal. Nobody negotiates, everybody gets to pick a day. And so whenever my day comes around, consistently, I pick Indian food, all right? Yeah, I think it's the best cuisine in the world. Nothing comes close. You don't agree with me? Let's meet in the parking lot, we can fight. I love Indian food. Loved it my whole life. And so we're in Edinburgh, I'm with my friends, they're like, where are we going? Trevor, what do you say? I'm like, Indian food. They're like, every time? I was like, yes, every time Indian food. I'm like, oh, it's the same. I'm like, then why do you keep asking me? If you know, you know. Stop asking me. And I searched for where we were gonna go, because I always try and find the most authentic Indian restaurant I can find. Like authentic Indian restaurants. Do you know what I mean? So what I'll do is I'll go to a place, and then I'll ask around. I'll ask people, I'll be like, where do you go? And then like, where the white people tell me, I don't go there. So I found this authentic spots, and I was so happy. Now, the reason it had to be so authentic, just so you understand a little bit of me. I grew up in South Africa, as you know, right? Now, what a lot of people may not know is that South Africa has one of the largest Indian populations outside of India. Right? One of the largest Indian populations outside of India. I know Canada's #1 now. But when I was growing up, we had the single largest population of Indians outside of India. Yeah. So if India blew up, we were India. It was that close. And so I was lucky enough to grow up surrounded by Indian culture. Right? In fact, one of my best friends growing up was a little Indian boy by the name of Thiessen Pillay. And we were thick as thieves. I don't think you understand. Every single day we hung out together. We spent our recesses together. We were hanging out, eating everything together, everything. Because we had so many things in common, right? We met at the beginning of the school year and we had so many things in common. Like he liked running, I liked running. So, Thiessen and I would spend every day together. And our ritual was simple. We'd go to all the classes that we did, and then we'd meet at what we called break time. And at break time, we'd sit and we'd eat our lunch together. Now, our lunches were very different, all right? Because Thiessen would get a packed lunch from his mom every single day. I would get money from my mom to buy food from the school tuck shop, we called it, right? Cafeteria, all right? And so what we do is I'd go and I'd buy the food every single day. And it's like, because my mom couldn't cook, right? Well, she tried once, and I was like, don't do this ever again. This is child abuse. Just give me the money. So I would buy the food every day. Thiessen, on the other hand, had food that his mom made every single day. And every single day, the meal was curry. I know this because every day, we'd sit down together. Thiessen would open his little lunchbox. He would take out his little can of juice. He'd unwrap his sandwich. And there would be little triangles cut out. And then he'd pull it out. He'd open the bread, look inside, and then he'd scream at the top of his lungs. He'd be like, curry! Damn it, mommy. Every day. Every day. We'd sit down, I'd have my food, he'd have his, he'd take the juice out of the box, he'd unwrap the sandwich, he'd look in between, he'd be like, curry! Damn it, mommy. Every single day, without fail, every day, mutton curry, lamb curry, potato curry, every curry you can imagine, but it was curry every single day. Curry! It was my favorite part of the day. Some days, I wouldn't even open my lunch for fear of missing the moment. I would just sit there next to him waiting, and he'd open it up, and he'd be like, curry! And I'd mouth it next to him, damn it, mommy. Every day, for months and months and months and months this happened. And then finally, at the risk of breaking it all, I turned to Thiessen one day. He screams, he's like, curry! Damn it, mommy. And I was like, Thiessen, you know it's going to be curry every day. He said, what? I said, it's going to be curry every single day. Every day you open the bread, and then every day you're shocked and you're like, curry, damn it, mommy. But it's always going to be curry. And he said, I know, Trevor, I know. I'm not shocked, I'm just disappointed. Right, because every single day, right, I come to school and then every day I'm like, I'm going to eat lunch, and then every day I open a box and I know what it's going to be, because last night we had the curry. Then what my mom does is she takes last night's curry, then she put it in a sandwich for me, and then that's the curry that I'm going to have today. Then I know when I go home tonight, I'm going to eat the curry, then I know that's the curry that's coming the next day. So every single day I'm getting curry, it's curry, and then it's going to be more curry and more curry. Trevor, I know I'm Indian, but it's too much, man. I just want something different, you know? They say variety is the spice of life, not just curry. I was like, oh, but Thiessen, is it bad? He said, I don't even know anymore. I lost perspectives. Here, you can have it. And he gave me his curry sandwich. I bit it, And Toronto, there are moments in your life that will forever shape who you are. Moments that will define who you grow on to be. This was one of those moments for me. I put that sandwich in my mouth. I bit down and my mouth came alive. My tongue discovered its purpose. I didn't know potatoes could pop like that. The flavors were bouncing around. My eyes opened wide. It was, I was like, wow, I was like, curry! Thank you, mommy. And I said, listen, this is amazing. You eat this every day? And he's like, every damn day. And I was like, well, okay, let's swap. I'll give you my money for tuck shop, and then you give me your curry food every day. And we did that, we traded. And let me tell you something now. You thought we were best friends before, we turned into soulmates. Yeah, because we both got everything we dreamed of, right? I got to have a home-cooked meal every single day, and as an Indian person, he got to start a business. Thiessen was in heaven. It was perfect. And since then, I've loved curry. So, fast forward many decades, we're in Edinburgh, Scotland. Going out with my friends, we're choosing a spot. I choose Indian, authentic Indian. We get to the place, and it's legit. Like, it is legit. We walk in, and there's Indian music playing. There are Indian people eating, Indian cooks in the back, Indian waiters, Indian guards on the wall. I'm like, this is it. I'm home. We walked in, we sat down. And as soon as we sat, one of my friends, Steve, launches for the menu. And I was like, Steve, it's cool, man. I'll just order for everyone at the table. And he's like, oh, that's fine, Trevor. I'll order for myself, thank you. I was like, no, it's not about that, Steve. I just prefer to order for all of us, yeah? Right? You good? He's like, I don't know why that's necessary. I think I'll just order for myself. Is that okay? I was like, it's not. No, it's not okay, Steve. It's not okay, right? Because you're probably going to say some shit that's going to embarrass me in front of my Indian people, right? And so I just need you to back off for a moment. He's like, I'm sorry, what would I say that could embarrass you in front of Indian people? I was like, I don't know, Steve, and I don't want it to happen. Just let me handle this, okay? He's like, let you handle this? Trevor, I'll have you know that I've eaten curry for many, many years. I'm like, Steve, this is not the time. Just let's not argue, okay? Let's not argue. It's not the time to argue. He's like, what do you mean? Why would I embarrass you? Why? I was like, there's no, you don't need to know why. Let's just not do. He's like, no, why? Why? Because I'm white. I was like, you brought it up, not me, all right? I wasn't going to bring up race, but you did, Steve, and now that you brought it up, let's talk about it. Every time I take my white friends to an ethnic restaurant, they always say some shit that embarrasses me. Every single time. Every time. Either they don't know how to pronounce the food, or they'll say some random shit. They'll be like, can I get that one, the papadums? What do you call these ones? You know, they'll be like, can I get this one, but not spicy? Kill yourself! Can I get the curry, but not spicy? Kill yourself! How are you gonna ask for curry, but not spicy? That's the whole point of curry. You want curry without the spice. Would you go to a sushi restaurant and ask for them to have the fish slightly boiled? No, I don't want the spice. Your forefathers went around the world killing people for the spice. Now you don't want it? Shut up and eat the spice, Steve. And he's there, he's like, Trevor, okay, I really don't understand where this is coming from, all right? I'm not gonna embarrass you. I understand curry. I was like, Steve, let's just leave it at that. I got you, okay? I got you, all right? I understand this way more than you. He's like, Trevor, I'm sorry. You're not more Indian than me. I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, you are not more Indian than me. I was like, what the hell is that? Exactly. Don't tell me I'm not more Indian than you. You shut up. When the waiter comes here, you shut up. He's like, I'm not gonna shut. I was like, you shut up. He's like, okay, fine, order then. And the waiter walks over. This beautiful Indian man. He's got his beautiful Indian garb, and he steps up. And I know Steve, I can see him questioning my authority out of the corner of my eye. And that's when I Trudeau'd. I was just a little too hyped. I wanted to show him that these were my people, and as the waiter got there, I didn't even let him speak. I just jumped up and I was like, good evening. I'm going to be ordering for the entire table, please. Could we please have 3 garlic raw naans? We're going to have 3 rumali rotis. Give us 1 shahi paneer, 1 palak paneer. You know what? We're going to have a Rogan Josh lamb, of course. Could we also please have one butter chicken for my Caucasian friends? And then we're going to have 3 samosas and 3 mango lassis to wash it all down. Thank you very much. I crushed it. I could feel it. Everyone could feel it. They could feel something. Because the table went dead. The waiter just stared at me. At first I thought he was impressed. Then I realized he was confused. And this Indian man leans in, looks me dead in the eye, and he's like, "Sorry, sir, could you repeat what you said?" I can't hear what you were saying, right? You got a bit of an accent. And I was like, oh shit! He's Scottish! I mean, I know he's Scottish. I mean, we're in Scotland. He's Scottish, but it's like he's Indian. I didn't expect that, right? Because the whole place is Indian. It's an Indian restaurant. The people eating were Indian. There's Indian gods on the wall. The guy was Indian. His beard was Indian, but his mouth was Shrek. I didn't expect that. And now he didn't understand me because I Trudeau'd too much. I didn't need to try so hard. But then I realized I also couldn't stop. Because that would be racist. So now, I've got the Scottish Indian man looking at me. Everyone's quiet and he's like, "If you don't mind, laddie, could you order again a little slower this time, right? I didn't hear what you said." "You want me to place the entire order again?" If you don't mind, I'm ready whenever you are." You know, I think everybody can order for themselves at the table. I don't think it's necessary for me to hold their hands. Everybody can order individually, and we can go from there, okay? We can go from there. And Steve was like, "Oh, I wish I could, but I'm so afraid I might offend someone. I think my friend here should order for us. Please, Trevor, go ahead. Go ahead. You're far more cultured than I am." I said, No, Steve, please, you can try your hand. I'm sure you know exactly what you want. He's like, "No, but what if I say something embarrassing? The last thing I'd want to do is offend another person's culture, Trevor." I said, "No, you can't offend anybody. There are no mistakes here, okay? We are all friends, okay? If anybody make a mistake, we forget about it. In fact, whatever happens today, we're all going to forget about it, okay? Just order. He's like, "No, I wish I could. I really wish I could. But Trevor, please go." I said, No, you just order, Steve. He's like, "Oh, please, Trevor." I was like, "Order, bastard! Just order." The waiter was like, Hey, there's no need to fight amongst yourselves. Look, clearly your friend's a little uncomfortable. Right, just order for him." Like, "Yes, he's totally uncomfortable." "Okay, could we please have 3 Romali rotis and 3 garlic naan, 1 shahi paneer, 1 palak paneer, and could we also get a lamb rogan josh, and we're also going to be having 1 butter chicken for your Caucasian friends." For anybody. Anybody can enjoy different types of curry. They don't all have to be spicy. It doesn't matter as long as you participate. There is no wrong way. "Oh, you're so understanding, Trevor." Yes, I am. Could we also please get What, you gonna answer that? No, they can call me back later. He's like, "It's getting awkward. Just answer your phone. I'll wait." Zzz. Okay. Zzz. Zzz. Hello? Yes, this is Trevor speaking. How can I help you? Yes, no, the one and the same. Can you get to the point? I can't talk right now. Can you tell me what you need? I can't speak for too long. Can you? No. There is nothing wrong with my voice. Can you just get? No, everything's fine. No, I have not been kidnapped. No. I have not been kidnapped. Everything is fine. This is not a secret message. Just can you tell me what you need? No, we can talk later then. Yeah, my voice is like this sometimes. Don't worry about that. Just wait. No, and I think I know my voice. I think I know my voice also. Yeah, well, I've been me my whole life, okay? I've been me okay, fine. We'll talk later. Okay. Love you too, mommy. Bye-bye. It's the most awkward meal I've ever had in my life. I barely ate a thing. I sat there thinking about my life. We finally get up to leave. Steve is beaming from ear to ear. They walk out ahead of me, and as I'm leaving the restaurant, the waiter waves us off. He's like, good night, everybody. He's like, have a great night. And we wave at him, and he's like, hey, excuse me, before you go, hey, aren't you Trevor Noah? A comedian, right? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, oh no, because I totally got you, Trevor. I totally got you, Trevor. I was like, wait, what? Wait, you Indian? He's like, of course I'm Indian. Of course I'm Indian. All places Indian. I totally got you, huh? I said, well, I don't understand. He's like, you don't understand. I understand. You walked in. I said, look, Trevor, no one coming. Then you start talking with accent. I go, I also do accent. Then you were doing accent. Then I do accent. Then you were doing accent. You make joke. I make joke. Do you like joke? I was like, no, I don't like your joke. I don't like your joke. I thought I was about to get canceled. Do you see this shit? He's like, it was amazing. You were sweating so hard. Not from the curry, eh? That was so funny, Trevor. I was like, it was not funny. My friends were laughing at me. He's like, I know. He's like, I wasn't scared, man. Why would you do that? He's like, because, Trevor, I take great joy in the pain and suffering of others. It's called Schadenfreude. Yo, Toronto, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming out. I thought the pandemic was going to ravage Africa the worst. Yeah, I won't lie. I was terrified. I was terrified for the African continent. You know, my whole life, I'd seen whenever there was a virus that broke out in the world, if it got to Africa, we got it the worst. I remember when it started spreading around the globe, I was getting ready for it. My friends from home were calling me on the phone. They're like, Trevor, are you seeing what's happening with coronavirus, my man? Are you seeing it? I was like, yeah, I'm seeing it, man. They're like, what do you think is going to happen? I was like, oh, man, you guys are screwed, man. Like, yeah, you guys. I was like, yeah. I'm in America, baby. I made the right choices in life. Turns out it was the other way around. Pound for pound, Africa did better than any other continent in handling the disease. Shocked everyone. What was even wilder was this. When Ebola was happening in Africa, the news always made it seem like it was Africans' fault for having Ebola. Right? Every time you'd watch the news, there was always a subtle level of blame that was happening in the news reports, right? They didn't humanize the people. It would always be someone random on like Sky or on the BBC. They'd be standing there. There'd be dead bodies piled up behind them. They'd be like, Sarah, I'm standing here in West Africa, where as you can see behind me, the bodies of Ebola victims are piling up. Many European scientists are asking if, unfortunately, these Africans have themselves to blame. They've been refusing the advice of the World Health Organization, not understanding the importance of distancing from each other during this time, and it appears that they only have themselves to blame. Dinengpan, BBC, back to you in the studio. And I would watch this and I'd be like, no, Africans, why do we do this to ourselves? Why, Africa? Why? Why do we love doing this to ourselves? Why do we like kissing monkeys? The lips are so sexy. And then when COVID came, Africans used everything they had learned from every virus that they had to fight without the help of the West, and they dealt with it better than any other continent. Didn't get credit, by the way. Everyone made it seem like it was luck. That's where the world is lucky that Africans aren't spiteful. Yeah, Africans aren't spiteful people. Because I would have given anything to just see one African news anchor come out and be like, "Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the African News Network. Tonight, we are covering the ongoing coronavirus pandemic that is ravaging the Western world. Many African scientists are asking if these people do not have themselves to blame. Many of them have refused the advice of the World Health Organization, completely ignoring the social distancing measures. Some of them have even had to be shown how to wash their own hands. Savages." It appears what has been increasing the severity of this problem is the fact that some of them do not even want to wear masks across their face, saying, quote, "I cannot breathe through this piece of cloth." This is commonly known by scientists as bitch-ass lungs syndrome. Back to you in the stereo, Chipua. I would have given anything to see that. One of the biggest side effects of COVID that I didn't expect is how stupid it would make human beings. Yeah, if there's one thing coronavirus did, it taught me how many of my friends are absolute idiots. Everyone studied at the University of Facebook. Everyone's a scientist. Everyone had a conspiracy theory. You know what happened here? The government did this. Oh, the government did this? Yeah, the government did this. Why? To control us. You thought this gave them control? You think governments wanted this? Which do you think gives a government more control? A population that goes to work, earns money, buys things that they can't really afford, so get into debt, so they have to go back to work, do more of the thing they don't really like, to get more money to pay the debt for the thing that they didn't really need, for the thing that they didn't need to afford, to get more money to go to the job, for the thing they don't like, for the thing that they didn't need to buy, to get the loan, for the money, for the thing that they didn't want, to get into more debt, to get the thing that they don't want, to go to the job that they don't need, for the money. Which do you think gives them more control? That? Or everyone just sitting at home with free money thinking about life? Everyone just sitting at home like, how come a weekend's only 2 days? It's a government's worst nightmare. Conspiracies were stupid. And here's the thing, I'm not against conspiracy theories, right? Please understand that. I actually like a good conspiracy theory. In fact, I think everybody should hold one. I think in your life, you should hold at least one good conspiracy theory. Yeah, keeps you on your toes. Don't just trust everything everyone tells you. You gotta have one. Like mine, my personal favorite, I believe that gluten is concentrated white privilege. You know I'm right. But COVID, oh man, the conspiracies were ridiculous. Especially because I know what really happened. All right, that's what frustrated me. No, I do. I knew exactly what caused COVID. I saw it coming and I didn't say anything. My bad, by the way. Yeah, it was too much wishing. We wished too much. I saw it coming. You know, when I was young, wishing was something that was special. Didn't happen that much. You had to have a special set of circumstances in order for you to make a wish. You'd find a clover with the right amount of leaves. Huh? There'd be a star shooting. Where? There. Too late. Oh, it had to be your birthday. They'd bring out the candles. And if you blew them all out, you could make a wish. And if you missed any, you died. But then people just started wishing for anything. Huh? Find an eyelash on their cheek. Make a wish. Do you know how many of these shits are on your face at any given time? People started just wishing on like the time, right? And be like, 11:11, make a wish. That's every day. Twice a day if you live on this side of the world because people don't like big numbers. You can't wish every day. That's not a special occasion, but people did it. People were wishing. Everywhere you went. Even rappers got involved. Oh, I wish a nigga would. Would what? You can't just leave it open-ended. And that's how we got COVID. All our wishes came together, and they all came true at the same time, and that's what we got. Yeah, because COVID was essentially like an asshole genie that gave us everything we asked for. We all wished. How many people were rubbing that lamp at the beginning of 2020? Just wishing away like, oh, I wish I didn't have to go into the office every day. Oh. Your wish is granted. Yeah, you wished not to go into the office. You forgot to wish that the office wouldn't come into your house. Now you were stuck every day on Zoom, can't blink, gotta make constant eye contact. Yeah, Had to find the one corner of your house that made it look like you had your shit together. Everybody wished. And boy, we got what we wished for. How many parents were rubbing that lamp? Wishing away. Oh, I wish I could spend more time with my kids. Oh. Your wish is granted. Yeah. A lot of parents realize the only reason you like your kids is because you only know them part-time. You meet them in the morning, you send them off, you tuck them in at night. It's a pretty sweet gig. But the next thing you know, everyone was trapped indoors, 24/7. Ooh, it was so fun to watch the parents flip. It was so fun. Remember at the beginning, all the parents were there. They're like, you will not open the schools. My children are not going anywhere. I will protect them at all costs. I'm a mama bear and I'll protect my cubs. You hear me? You will not open the schools until the virus is gone. 9 months later. Those same parents were there screaming on the stoop, when are the goddamn schools opening? You can't expect me to spend all day with these kids. Who am I, their mom? They should be in school. The kids were there like, but mommy, there's a new variant out there. Listen, Timmy, listen, at some point you're gonna have to see what you're made of, okay? Either your lungs are gonna make it or they ain't. All right, buddy? Now get on out there and see what you're made of, all right? If Simba could do it, so could you. Hakuna Matata. Go on, buddy. Go on. We all wished. How many couples out there were wishing? Rubbing away at that lamp, looking into each other's eyes. Like, damn, girl, I wish I could be locked in a room with you all day. Girl, I wish they would lock us up and throw away the key, the things I would do to you. Oh, yeah? What would you do to me? Girl, I wish they would tell us we could only see each other all day. All day. Your wish is granted. A lot of couples learned a lot during the pandemic. A lot of couples learned a lot during the pandemic. A lot of people realized that love may be unconditional, but like has a time limit. Because I love you, baby. I just don't know if I like you anymore. It all started as so much fun, remember? Oh, in the beginning, it was like a sleepover. Oh my God, this is so much fun. And then the weeks turned into months. The months turned into years. And at some point, you'd be sitting in the house with the glaze over your eyes, and you'd hear them coughing on the other side. And you'd be like, yes. Oh, yes, Jesus. Take them now, Lord. If it's their time, it's their time. Let thy will be done, Lord Jesus. I could use the extra office space. You know, one of the things that saddens me the most about the world we live in is that we oftentimes don't have the luxury to process the whys. We know that things happen. We feel the things happening to us, but oftentimes we don't make the time or we don't have the time to process the why. Why were we so angry? Why did we fight each other so much? We had no compassion for each other. We were the worst of ourselves. And you know, if you ask me, it's because we were scared. As humans, we become so comfortable knowing that we forget how uncertain life is. We get taught every single day that we know. We get comfortable knowing, so you think you'll always know. What's the traffic gonna be like? You know. What's the weather gonna be like? You know. Oh, it'll rain on Thursday. You understand what a magic trick that is? If you had that technology 500 years ago, you were like, oh, it'll rain on Thursday. People would be like, kumba ding dang ginga wan dang ginga kumba ding dang ginga wan ding dang kumba wan. We take that for granted, but it's also made us forget that life is uncertain. We don't know. The pandemic showed it. It exposed every single one of us. And I think the thing that we didn't take a moment to think about is the why. Why were we so angry? Why were we so frustrated? It wasn't because of movies. It wasn't because we couldn't go out to parties. It wasn't because we couldn't go to the mall or any of that shit. It's because we lost each other. I lost you. You lost me. We lost this. You know? That's the real thing people were frustrated about. And what made it worse was that governments made it seem like they knew. I think that's the thing that made it worse. They were so confident. They made it seem like they knew. They said it would be 21 days. 21 days. I will never forget that number. Because we didn't ask why. Right? We heard China building a 10,000 person hospital overnight. None of us asked, why? We were just like, China. They love building shit. I remember how confident world leaders were as well. Some more cocky than others. One of my favorites was Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson. Yeah, he was an interesting one. He went to a hospital during the pandemic, and he was hugging people. Like right at the beginning, he was hugging people, going around hugging people. Journalists asked him, they're like, Prime Minister Johnson, do you think it's appropriate for you to be hugging people during a pandemic? He's like, first of all, everyone needs to calm down. This is not a pandemic. This is not a pandemic. Look at my hair. Do I look stressed? Everybody needs to calm down. Nothing. Everything is fine. Well, I can touch people. We're not shutting down. Everything's staying open. The pubs are staying open. The football's staying open. Well, if you excuse me, I have to go. He's just gone. He didn't give a shit. Huh? America's president. Oh, he was even cockier. Yeah. You see him when he came out? Donald J. Trump. Oh, he had all the swag. He was like, folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20. That disease came and kicked Trump and Boris deep in the chest. Both men went to the ICU, almost died. Only reason they survived, It's because they're both heads of state. They gave them that secret juice. Boris, to his credit, he came out of that hospital like he had seen Jesus. He came from the hospital, held a press conference, shut everything down. He came there barely dressed. He was like, everybody, this is not a joke. I've seen it for myself. The UK shutting down. Please, the football's gone. The pubs are gone. Do not take this lightly. I've experienced it myself. I promise this is not fun. I can't talk to you. I have to go. Please, I can't talk. I have to. And he was just gone. Gone. That man was terrified. I was half expecting coronavirus to come around the corner like... Trump, on the other hand, didn't give a damn. That man will die from being stubborn. He came out of the hospital, could barely breathe, but still held a press conference. Didn't even speak. It was just like... If I can do it, so can you. Oh, man. I'm having more fun in my life now than I think I've ever had. I'm enjoying America more now than I've ever enjoyed it. Every day. I don't even know what it is. I think, you know what, I think it's, you enjoy a place differently when it might be ending, you know? It just has like a different feeling to it. It's just like, what does that taste? The final season? Because you never know with America. You really never know. Every day is the best day and possibly the last day. I'm having an amazing time. I truly am. This year was such a blessing because I got to travel around the world doing shows in places I'd never performed before, places I've always wanted to do comedy. I've always wanted to try it out. You know, did shows in Berlin, Germany, for the first time ever. That was really amazing. I won't lie. People freaked me out. People freaked me out before I went there. Like similar to Detroit, you know, when people are like, oh, watch out, Detroit, watch out, Detroit. You know, like people were like that with Germany as well. Like when I was going to Berlin, people were like, dude, Germany? Do they laugh? I'm like, what do you mean? They're human beings. Like, I don't know, man. Do they laugh? People got to me. There was a point when I was heading to Germany where I was like, maybe Germans just sit in the audience like, aha, yeah, aha. That was a comedy show. But they don't. They laugh. They're actually great audiences. I had an amazing time in Berlin. It's a city that sneaks up on you because it's so culturally diverse. You know, it has a burgeoning art scene, you know, fantastic music. The history in Berlin is truly deep and rich. You know, I love traveling and seeing places whenever I'm in certain cities. And in Berlin, I went out with like a tour group. And I had a great time, but I wish someone had warned me how painful a lot of like Berlin's history is, right? Because that was basically the headquarters of the Nazi party. So like everything ties back to Hitler. I didn't know this. I thought we were going on like a cute little tour. I ask a lot of questions. I'm curious. This brought the mood down. And we're out and about. The tour guide was doing his shtick. He was happy as well. He was like, you know, here behind me you can see this is one of the largest airports that was ever built in the world. Yeah, it is a world famous airport here in Berlin, and it is so large that they filmed the Hollywood movie, The Hunger Games, inside this airport. Yeah? Any questions? And I was like, yeah, wow, how old is this thing? He's like, this is almost 100 years old. I'm like, damn, and like who built it? Yeah, that is the unfortunate part of the story. This airport was built by Hitler. I could see I'd messed things up. I tried to bring the mood up. I was like, which Hitler? He's like, which Hitler? Which other Hitler is there? I was like, could be Henry Hitler. Henry Hitler? who the hell is Henry Hitler? I was like, you don't know Henry Hitler? It didn't work. Like, yo, man. It was tense, but it was good. And what I mean by good is it was nice to be in a place where people don't bury their history. You know? And what I mean by that, is that, like, when you travel through Germany, even if you don't go to museums, you cannot escape the past of both Berlin and what Germany did. You know, there are monuments scattered throughout the city, prominent monuments. They're memorializing what Germany did to millions of Jewish people and millions of other people around the world. You see it, you understand it, they talk about it. You know, they teach their kids about it. They teach children in school. They're like, hey, this is what Germany did. They make sure they know. But they don't make them feel guilty about it, which is a pretty amazing balance for them to strike, you know? They'll say to the kids, they're like, hey, kids, I hope you understand. Germany did this. You're not responsible because you weren't there. However, because you're the future of Germany, it's your responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I loved about being in Germany when they were talking about their histories is how forthright they are about it. You know, they know it's painful. They know that it's a terrible blight on who they are, but they don't hide from it. Like when I saw them doing this, I was like, man, I wish America did this with history. You know? 'Cause you ever see how awkward it is speaking about history in America? It gets tense. Doesn't matter what history it is, it gets tense. You know, Columbus Day is one of those days. Every year in New York, there's a fight. Every year. Here in Detroit, there was a fight. There was a bust of Christopher Columbus that was around for 110 years. At some point, half of Detroit was like, we need to get rid of it. The other half was like, no, don't get rid of it. It was a huge fight. New York, same thing, every year. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Yeah, there was an interview on the news I saw once. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but I found it funny. The reporter went up to some guy and was like, sir, what are you going to be doing for Indigenous Peoples Day? And he was like, let me tell you something, it's Columbus Day. I'm sick and tired of people coming in and changing the name. We're proud of that day. It's Christopher Columbus. It's Columbus Day. It's not going to change. In fact, how would you feel if somebody came along, took something that's been around for a long time, and just decided to switch it and call it something else, huh? How would you feel? I was like, but sir, isn't that the spirit of Columbus Day? I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Indigenous Peoples Day, the title. I don't like it. I think it's a cop-out. I don't think it's specific enough. It's lazy. You know, Indigenous Peoples Day. Which Indigenous people? Where? How? Give me something, you know? You know what I liked about Columbus Day? Is that it was specific. Yeah. It was a specific, inspiring story of a man by the name Christopher Columbus, who believed against all odds that he could sail the wrong way around the world and get to India from the other side. Nobody believed in him. Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna do this. They were like, you can't do it, Chris. And he was like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. He's like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. And he raised money. He fought for years. He finally got the ships and he sailed the wrong way around the world and he didn't do it. Not only did he not land on the other side of India, he found himself in a place called the Caribbean, and he was like, this is India. And the people there were like, I don't know if you've been eating some of the herb we've been leaving about, but this is totally not India. And they're like, this is India, and you guys are Indians. They're like, brother, we are not Indians. He's like, I know Indians when I don't see them. You're Indians. You're just on the far side, so you're West Indians. And he stuck with it. Christopher Columbus stuck with it his entire life. Other explorers would come to him, they'd be like, yo, Chris, I don't think you made it to India. He's like, it's India. They're like, I don't think it's India. He's like, it's India. He died refusing to acknowledge the possibility that he never made it to India. Not only that, my friends, he never set foot in America. Ever. Ever. And yet, he had a public holiday named after him in America. That, my friends, is the inspiring story of how white men can fail up. You know how much confidence you have to pull that off? Nobody else. That is white man confidence. Nobody else possesses that level of confidence. Go the wrong way, end up in the wrong place, call the wrong people the wrong name, and be like, I'm right, give me a holiday. No one else can do that. That is the level of confidence we should all aspire to, is white man levels of confidence. Women couldn't pull that off. You think any woman should be like, I'm gonna sail the wrong way around the earth? They'd be like, burn her, she's a witch. You think people of color could have pulled that off? You think black people could pull that off? Wow, really? Black people just gonna sail around the world, wrong way around, get to the place they're not supposed to be, probably get arrested for trespassing. Be like, what are you doing here? Be like, man, my bad, man. I thought I was getting to India, man. My bad, man. I apologize. Man, I don't even know what I was thinking, man. You know what, man? We should have never messed with ships. It never turns out good, man. I apologize, man. This won't happen again. Why would you want to bury your history? There's so much joy, there's so much to learn. You know? It feels like America's moving in that direction. You know, it wants less and less of its history, wants less and less context. You look what's happening with textbooks. Places like Florida, they want to ban textbooks or cut out the parts of the textbooks that have slavery in the books. And now parents are fighting. They're like, oh, no, take the slavery out. It's making the kids feel bad. And other parents are like, keep the slavery in. It's teaching the children. And these parents are fighting back and forth. I'm like, why? What you don't need to be fighting about. No one should be fighting about this. Kids don't read textbooks. They watch TikTok. If you want to get to the kids, that's where you gotta be. There was slavery. Ships came. Yeah, they... I'll be honest, I don't think that textbook thing is like a real issue. I feel like it's one of those manufactured issues that often happens in America that gets people riled up and gets them fired up, fighting about something that was never an issue to begin with, you know? And the reason I say this is because that's honestly what I believe. I feel like in America, politicians have done a really good job of tricking Americans into fighting about issues that were never an issue to begin with, so that you don't pay attention to the issues that actually are. You know? If they can get you fighting about what's in a textbook, you don't pay attention to the fact that inflation is out of control. You don't pay attention to the fact that rents are out of control. People cannot afford to live anywhere. Your salaries have never kept up with inflation. Corporations steal billions and billions of dollars from their employees with no ramifications. You don't pay attention to any of that. You pay attention to what's catchy. It's easy to keep up with. It keeps you going. You know? Ooh, can trans people use public bathrooms? Ooh. It's manufactured. Who was actually dealing with this issue? And I mean this, honestly. Who was actually dealing with this issue? You know what they did? Some politician out there figured out. They go, here's a small story affecting a few people in a random place. I'm gonna make it seem like this is a nationwide issue. And then everyone starts fighting about it. But who? Who was really dealing with it? Huh? Who of you here has ever been in a situation where you were in a bathroom and all of a sudden a skirmish broke out and you heard people being like, excuse me, is this the gender that you were born with? Does it coincide with the sign on the door? Is your genitalia matching this? Can I see it right? Who's ever seen that? Nobody. Nobody. But they make us fight about it because it's catchy. who can use which bathroom. Who cares? Who cares? I mean it, who cares? I know someone will be like, oh, but trans people care. They want to know if they can use a public bathroom. Yeah, use whichever bathroom you want. Who's gonna stop you? No, seriously, it's a public toilet. Who is going to stop you? You tell me who's gonna enforce that law. We can't even enforce the idea that people should shit into the toilet. But you think magically they're gonna figure out if you were born this way? Use whichever one you want. Why are we wasting our time? Other people are like, oh, we're gonna fight because you gotta know who's using. Let me tell you something. If you are spending enough time to know the genitalia of the other people in a public bathroom, you're the creep. I'm worried about you. There is a simple rule to every public toilet around the world, and that rule is you get in, you pay no attention to anyone else, you hold your breath, and you get out. You're standing around staring at other people. Like every man in this room knows, when we use the toilet, what do? We get in, public toilet, you stare dead ahead. You pee, you do your thing. You do not look to either side. If you're fidgety, you look up, you look down. You do not look at anyone else. The guy next to you could start choking. You don't turn your head, you don't shake, you don't move. You hear him like, you be like, hey man, hey, you all right? Yo, hey man, you okay? Yo, you want me to call, hey man, are you okay? Yo, you want me to call, don't look at me! What are we doing? What are we fighting about? Public bathrooms. And if you know your history, you'll know this happens all the time in America. It happens over and over and over again. There was a time when women had to fight to use public bathrooms in America. Imagine that. There was literally a time when women weren't allowed to use public bathrooms all across America, and they had to fight. And there were men who were angry. They're like, this is crazy. You're gonna have women in public bathrooms? That's insane. Like, how does it work? Huh? What, they're gonna come in there while we're peeing? And then what, they're gonna look at our wieners? Huh? And they're gonna laugh? Huh? Think about this, ladies. There was a time when women were first allowed to step into the workplace where there were no public bathrooms that they could use. So ladies, if you were out and about back then, you needed to pee, you needed to poo, you had to go home. Yeah, and I say poo theoretically, I don't know if you actually do. No, I don't think any guy does, let's be honest. We don't. Like, we assume this on a biological level, but I don't know for certain that any woman actually, in fact, any man in here, I don't, like, think of any woman in your life. Do you know the last time she pooed? I don't think you know. I don't think you know. There is no forensic evidence to back up that claim. There is no smell, there is no stain, there is no nothing. And ladies, I don't know who's doing your bathroom PR, but they're doing a stellar job. Stellar job. Women go to the bathroom, smells better when they come out of it. How? You never know when a lady's pooing, never. Because also, women keep the same amount of time. That's the most impressive thing. You give nothing away. Yeah, a woman's gonna go pee, it takes 10 minutes. She goes to the bathroom, right? Gets there, tinkle, 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 comes out, washes her hand, powders her face, texts on the phone a bit, comes back to the table. You have no clue. Yeah, she's gonna go poo, same thing, 10 minutes. Goes to the bathroom, does a thing, pellets, comes back out, wash her hands, powder the nose, text her friends, get back out there. You have no clue. With men, you know exactly what we're doing. Discretion is not our forte. You know when every single man is gonna go pee. Why? 2 minutes. Off to the bathroom, we're in there. Quickest thing ever. It's like a NASCAR pit stop. Yeah, we get in, we pee, we come back out, act like we're washing our hands, and we're back. How do you know when we're gonna take a dump? Because it's obvious. We go to the bathroom, never come back. That's the last time you'll ever see us. Your family's putting up wanted posters in the restaurant. Have you seen this man? Imagine, people were fighting about bathrooms. This every time in America, every time. There was a time when black people had to fight to use public bathrooms. Huh? Same thing. Black people were like, why can we not use public bathrooms? And again, people were angry. This is crazy. You're gonna have black people in the public bathroom? How does that even work, huh? So what, they're gonna be standing there while I'm peeing, huh? And they're gonna be looking at my wiener, huh? And they're gonna laugh, huh? Yo, I'm old enough to remember when there was a discussion in America about whether gay people could use public bathrooms. This was an actual topic of discussion. I remember seeing people on the news being interviewed. They'd be like, do you think that gay men should be allowed into the same bathrooms as straight men? I'd be like, look, I don't mind what they do. If they keep it to themselves, that's fine. But just answer me this. How's it gonna work, huh? So what, you're in the bathroom with them and then what? Like he's gay and I'm just standing there and I'm peeing, huh? And he's looking at my wiener, huh? And then he grabs it, huh? And he starts yanking on it, huh? He just starts tugging away and I get hard and I'm enjoying it, huh? And then this is one of the best experiences I've ever had, huh? And then I start coming back weekly, hoping I'll bump into him, and I do, huh? And then at some point we agree to meet outside a nice little restaurant that's cozy and get to know each other, huh? And then a few years later we get married and our families are joined and we live happily ever after, huh? Is that what you want? Why? Public bathrooms. That's why you shouldn't bury your history. Yeah, because if you know it's happened, you know what to predict. You understand why it happened in the first place. Germany does that in a truly astounding way. Look, it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect. But Germany is one of the only countries in the world that has actively paid reparations for what they did. One of the only countries in the world that has actively apologized. And one of the only countries in the world that's set about changing how they see themselves and how the world sees them. After World War II, Germany changed a bunch of laws. They changed the iconography of the country, what you could hang, where you could hang it. They changed their national anthem. Yeah. Imagine that, they changed the national anthem. They felt that the national anthem was a nationalist song that the Nazis used to inspire people to think the wrong things, and they changed it. The original song was a song called Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. And you've probably heard it like in old movies or whatever. The song went like, Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles auf der Welt. And translated into English, it means, Germany, Germany, over everything in the world. And clearly they meant it. Yeah. Where most anthems are theoretical, Germans are precise. But after World War II, they were like, we can't have that same attitude. And so they changed the anthem. They had new lyrics. The new lyrics are, Einigkeit und Rechts und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland. Which translated into English is, unity and rights and freedom for all the people who live in Germany. Which is adorable. It's adorable. I mean, they may as well have made the song, sorry, sorry, we're so sorry. Sorry for what we did. I appreciate that they did it, but I wouldn't have gone that far. No, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have gone that far. I think über alles is terrible. That's not a good way to think. But you still gotta have a bit of kick in your anthem, you know? Still gotta have like a, you know? Yeah, I would have found like a middle ground. Mine would have been like, Deutschland, Deutschland, irgendwo in den Top 5. Nicht über alles auf der Welt. Because we are definitely in the top 5 when you think about it. America's number 1, and then you have Great Britain, and then you have France and Spain, and then we are at number 4. Well, actually, Spain is not better than us, so we are number 4. Number 4 in the, oh yeah, but France, their economy is not that strong, so maybe we are number 3 in the world, then you have England above, oh wait, Brexit was not a smart idea, so Maybe we are number 2 and America is number... Oh, the elections are not that stable, so then maybe we are über alles auf der Welt!
I just got back from Atlanta. It was 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Hottest weather. The worst thing is everyone comes up to me and they go, well, you must be used to this being from Africa. And no, I'm not. I'm from Africa, but that shit is hot. That was just, no. I was scared to go jogging because I thought if I ran out in the streets and fainted, wouldn't the local news love that? I'd be running and I'd fall down in the heat. They would have their vans reporting live. They'd be standing there going, so hot in Atlanta, even Africans are fainting. So I'm enjoying this. Really happy to be here, you know. This is going to be good for us, I hope. I say I hope because I never know with stand-up comedy. It's just, you know, it's an awkward experience, I find. I'm always nervous. I find comedy is very similar to sex for me. Well, it's exactly like sex when you think about it. With me, the comedian, playing the role of the man, and you, the audience, the role of the woman. Because it's my job to satisfy you. And you just have to sit there. And then, just like sex, my success or failure will somehow be determined by how much noise you make during my performance. Which makes it a one-sided affair, I feel, you know? Yeah, I mean, maybe you're the quiet type. I hope we have magic tonight. I hope we create something wonderful. I mean, for many of us, it's our first time together, and that means it might be awkward. I understand this. And if that's the case, I want you to know that I'll look into your eyes, I'll see that I'm freaking you out, and I'll stop. I'll stop, and I'll flip you back over, and we'll go back to the simple stuff. Okay? I've been in America for a few months now, and I'm really just thrown by the place. It's not what I expected at all. Different from the brochures and the pamphlets. There's many assumptions I had about America before I came here, and I've come to learn that those were wrong. For one, I just assumed people spoke English here. It's far from it. It's not, you know what, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just... Wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that just pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, you know? I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what, though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. Like, there's two of them? I understand nothing, even the small words, just the pronunciation, you know, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here, you say my aunt, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control, because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. So in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process, you know? Everything goes into each other, and out here you have imperial, which is fine. I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things, like for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams, mg, milligrams. Yeah? And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That for me. Please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P, no, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit, that's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet, he was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard, the Grand Wizard. Didn't do one trick. Not even one trick. I noticed a few black people disappear, but that's not magic. No, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. Yeah! The KKK, as they're affectionately known. Has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K? Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. C. In fact, the name is wrong, the whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible, because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Kuklos Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They call themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for 2 reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the Circle of Brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, just more of a, yeah, maybe one more hole. They're not a... I love it. I have no problem with these things. I will learn them. I'm willing to take this in my stride. Because that's not why I came to America, not to analyze the English language. No, I came to America because I always wanted one thing, and that is, I always wanted to be black. You laugh, but it's true. That's all I ever wanted. I grew up in South Africa during a time known as apartheid. And for those who don't know, apartheid was a law in South Africa that made it illegal for black and white people to interact with each other, If you did that, then you would get into trouble. So, for instance, this black young lady here sitting with the white guy, if you did this in South Africa, then they'd arrest you guys. You couldn't, during apartheid, well, they'd arrest the black girl. They just ask you not to do it again. And so this was awkward for me because I grew up in a mixed family, Well, with me being the mixed one in the family. My mother's a black woman, South African, and my father's Swiss, from Switzerland. So he was a white man, and basically, well, he still is a white man. It's not like It's not like he changed. Sorry, I said was, like through hard work and determination, he became black, which is not, that guy's looking at me like, is that possible? It's not, no, sir. You're fine. You're 100% fine. Your position of privilege is just the way it was. Although it would be something, though, if you could work so hard you became black. That would just be, wouldn't it? That would change the workplace forever. You see guys walking into their office talking to the boss. Jim, I think I'm gonna take a few days off. I don't know. I feel it coming on. Yeah, I've been putting in some overtime, and I don't know, man. I just, yeah. Look, I mean, the wife's loving it, but I can't take a chance. I just filled out a new loan application, and my credit's looking real good, so I'm gonna take a few days off. Yeah. No, you're fine, sir. My father is alive and still very, very white. From Switzerland, my mother, Xhosa woman from South Africa, yeah. And they got together during this time, which was against the law, but they didn't care, you know? They were mavericks. They were just, they fought the man. My mom was like, woo, I don't care, I want a white man, woo! You know? And my dad was also like, well, you know how the Swiss love chocolate, so he was just... he was in there. And so they got together, and they had me, which was illegal. So I was born a crime, which is something they never thought through, because as a family, we couldn't live normally together, you know? Like in the streets, my father had to walk on the other side of the road. And he could just wave at me from far, like a creepy pedophile. And then my mom could walk with me, but if the police showed up, then she'd have to let go of my hand, drop me, and act like I wasn't hers. Every time, just so we wouldn't get caught. Be like, woo! She'd be like, I don't know. It was horrible. I felt like a bag of weed. And one of the punishments for this crime was I was never afforded a race. I was never called black. I was never called white. I got horrible names like mixed breed and mutt and half caste, and it was a horrible time for me. And one fateful day, I'll never forget, I met an American in South Africa, and he said to me, well, Trevor, it's funny you say that, because if you come out to America, they'll label you as black. I said, really? And he was like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, everybody's black out there. And I was like, wow, well, I want to be black. And I found out it's true. Mixed race people are categorized as black in America. Yeah. The only catch is, and nobody tells you this, you have to be liked and successful first. Before then, they say you mixed. You achieve success, and you get upgraded to black. All the famous mixed people do it. Singers, like Alicia Keys and Mariah Carey, yeah? Mixed, but then they say black singers. Sportsmen, like Tiger Woods, mixed, but then they say black golfer. The most famous mixed person on the planet by far, Barack Obama, mixed, half and half, straight down the middle. But then they say America's first black president, which is interesting because when he was running, they called him the mixed candidate. I see how it works. Everyone makes it obvious now. They're like, yeah, Barack, of course he won, of course. It wasn't that obvious when he started. It wasn't. I remember comedians coming out. They used to diss him. Guys would come out on stage and be like, man, how many of y'all seen that crazy-ass mixed fool running for president? Y'all seen that mixed fool running for president? What you gonna see? Ain't no mixed fool gonna be president of the United States of America. Ain't no man, which white people gonna be voting for a mixed fool? Even a black man can't win shit. Even a black man can't. How some mixed fool think he gonna do it out? Man, that mixed fool, that crazy-ass mixed fool. How some mixed fool, that mixed fool? And then he won, and all of a sudden they were like, my nigga. So... problems. It's the fear of something that is different. Because when people say they don't like immigrants, most of the time they're not referring to immigrants who look and sound like them. They're talking about immigrants who speak differently, who look different. Because an accent comes with a connotation. You think you know if someone is smart or stupid because of their accent. And yet the truth is an accent is not a measure of intelligence. It's just someone speaking your language with the rules of theirs. Accents have connotations. We cannot deny it. Look at the French. We all believe that the French are romantic. Why? Because of their accents. They've got that thing. I was thinking that maybe we could, how you say, afterwards, maybe we could try to, oh my God, he's so sexy, oh my God. Accents determine how we see people.
Same thing happens with the Russians. The Russians, the most feared people on the planet. Why? Because of how they speak. I don't care who you are, you cannot deny that when a Russian speaks, you are not comfortable. As soon as they open their mouths, yeah, go to kill you, break you. I'll destroy your family. Even if they say nice things, it still sounds menacing and dangerous. Yeah, fluffy rabbits and teddy bears. Happy Valentine's Day. Sounds like a threat. You don't mess with the Russians. I don't care who you are, where you are in the world, you do not mess with the Russians because of that accent. All of us in the world are afraid of the Russians. They do that thing when they speak. Strikes fear into the hearts of men. And you see it every single day. Look at what happened at the Olympics. We found out that the Russians have been doping for the last 4 or 5 Olympics. Olympic Committee banned them, confidently as well, while they were in Zurich. We here at the Olympic Committee feel that Russians may no longer participate in the Olympic Games due to their doping practices. And they are now hereby uninvited from the Games in Rio and banned hitherto and into the future. Thank you very much. And the Russians were like, what did you say? Well, the truth is, the Olympics is for everybody, yeah? You can come when you want to. I mean, who am I to ban you? Yeah, this is for all of us. Okay, I see you in Rio. Okay, yeah, Wiedersehen, bye-bye. Everyone's afraid of the Russians. You see it when it comes to geopolitics. Look at what happened in the Ukraine. Russia took a piece of another country, annexed Crimea, no provocation, no reason. Out of nowhere, the Russians were just like, yeah, I like. And the whole world, what did we do? You don't mess with the Russians. Most frightening people in the world. You know how I know this? You know how I've learned? Because I've learned how to use the Russian accent for myself. I've learned how to harness that energy and use it for good. I'll share this with you, I don't mind. I'm not particularly comfortable in the house at night by myself. What I'm trying to say is I'm afraid of the dark. And I know it's stupid to be afraid of the dark, right? Because there's nothing there, 9 times out of 10. But what happens is I'll be sleeping, and in the middle of the night I'll be woken up by the need to pee. And whenever that happens, I'm always faced with the eternal dilemma. When I go to the bathroom, do I turn the lights on and lose my sleep? Or do I leave the lights off and shit myself? I never know which one to go with. But what I started doing now is I leave the lights off. And when I go to the bathroom, I just speak to myself in a Russian accent. And it sounds crazy, but I feel safe. I feel like I'm the most dangerous thing in the night. You'll find me at 3 a.m. barefoot walking to the toilet like, yes, big boy, go to make a pee-pee. No trouble over here, it's potty time. I feel safe. I feel like even if there's a monster under the bed, I'll be like, is that a Russian? There's just something about that Russian accent. It made me realize, ladies, every single one of you in this audience needs to learn a Russian accent. Because you read stories all the time. I talk to my female friends all the time, my family members, and women are constantly under assault. Women are living a life of being vulnerable, walking through the streets, men catcalling, in the office place, people groping, feeling like they have ownership of the female form. And I know, ladies, we can't solve this tomorrow, but if you learned a Russian accent, half of those problems would disappear. Yeah, the next time you're in a compromising position, you're at a bar, waiting for your drink. That creepy guy comes up and starts grinding on you from behind. Hey, how are you? Hey, you want to dance? No, I'm fine, thank you. I'm just getting a drink, thank you. I don't want to. Come on, dance with me, girl, come on. No, I'm fine. I don't want to dance, thank you. I'm waiting for my friends. I'm good. Come on, I know you want me. Woo, you know I want you. Come on, I know you want me. I don't want to dance with you, please. Hey, you don't gotta be such a bitch. Whenever that happens, ladies, Don't be afraid, don't stress. Just whip out your Russian and kill it dead. As soon as he says that, as soon as he's like, don't be such a bitch, just be like, you want to see bitch? Done. Sober up and walk away. Use it for anything, ladies. Anything. At work, in the streets. Use it at home. Doesn't have to be life or death. Could be a mild annoyance. Yeah. Next time you're in bed, you're trying to get to sleep, but you can't. Because there's this horny little rabbit behind you. Dry humping your back. You know the nights I'm talking about. Everyone in this room knows the nights I'm talking about. Ladies, you're dog tired, you just want to fall asleep, and he's there behind you. Baby. 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 What? Are you sleeping? Yeah, I'm trying. What do you want? I want you, baby. I've wanted you all night. Oh, I want you so bad. You look so good right now in that nightgown and your curlers, girl. I just want you so bad right now. Oh, baby, thank you for thinking I'm beautiful even though I'm in my curlers. But please, can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm so tired, baby. Aren't you tired? I'm never tired for you, girl. I want you right now. Oh, baby, please. Let's do this tomorrow, please. I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. It's fine. You can sleep. I don't mind. No, I'm not going to sleep. Yo, for real, ladies, can I just say, men are creeps. On behalf of all men, I apologize because we are disgusting creeps, every single one of us. No, I'm not gonna sleep. What's wrong with you? What are you talking about? What do you mean, what's wrong with me? I just want you. Is that so bad? No, baby, I'm just tired. Yeah, but you said when we left the show, you were like, oh, that was fun, we had a good time. And then we were driving home, and then you were like, oh, I can't wait to get you back. Yeah, I know I said that, and I did. I wanted to, but then I got into bed. I didn't even realize how tired I was, baby. Please, I promise you I'm not... Oh, you do this to me all the time. What am I supposed to do now, huh? What am I supposed to do? Look at me now. Do you know how hard it is to have blue balls? Do you know how painful this is? Huh? What am I supposed to do now with this? And you know, ladies, I love how guys talk about an erection like it's something we bought at the store and we can't return. And I said, what am I supposed to do with this, huh? What am I supposed to do with this? I've opened it, I can't take it back, huh? What am I supposed to do with this? Whenever that happens, ladies, you aren't fighting the man, you're fighting his horniness. It's gonna turn into a fight that's gonna spoil your week, maybe your month. Don't let it happen. Just get your Russian out and kill it dead. As soon as he starts losing it, you're doing this all the time, you reject me, I just want you, and just be like, okay. Show me what penis can do, let's go. Make action, lover boy. Done. Problem solved. Even the penis will be like, you know what? You're right. I told him, but he wouldn't listen to me. I don't even know how we got to this point, to be honest, because you see what had happened was he called me and he was like, come out, there's a party. And then I came out and I was like, you're sleeping? He's like, oh no, don't worry, I'll wake up. Then I was like, don't wake her up, because you know me, I don't wake you up. I'm here like 5 times a night. I've never woken you up. I don't know why he woke you up. I'm gonna be chilling. In fact, I had some stuff to do, so you should go back to bed because I respect you. In fact, I had some paperwork that I'm gonna be handling in my office, so if you need me, you know where to find me. But he shouldn't have done it in the first place. I just wanna apologize for that because I don't think you should ever have to be in a situation where a man is pressuring you. Then you should send it to them. John! Kill it dead, ladies. All you need is that Russian accent. The most dangerous accents in the world. And yet, strangely enough, I found the Russian language does not make me fear at all. Strangest discovery I made. The Russian accent makes me fear. The Russian language does not. Because a language is something someone else speaks. An accent is me interpreting how they're using mine. It's a completely different thing. I was walking through the streets one day, there was a man on the phone, a Russian guy, speaking to someone in English. Sounded like he was setting up a drug deal. And then he switched into Russian, and it was the strangest thing that happened in my brain. He was walking, and he was like, yeah, Vlad, the guys go to bed, okay, at 3 o'clock. Yeah, you go to tell me when you get the package. Afterwards, I go to let you know what's happening. No, Vlad, no, listen, Vlad. Нет, Vlad, давай дальше ракетчина, нет? Вы точно отверяете. Нет, вы точно, сепия, нот? Вы точно, нет, как точно ведет? Фиамат, рабочий едут, нет. Вы точно, спасибо, да. It was the weirdest thing in my head. In my head, he instantly went from international criminal to immigrant. Instantly. I wasn't afraid anymore. It was the strangest thing. He was just a normal person in my mind because Russian doesn't frighten me. If anything, Russian just sounds like a DJ is scratching on a turntable. That's all I hear when I hear Russian. It sounds like a DJ took a turntable and is scratching English like, yeah, Vlad, the guys go to bed, okay, at 3 o'clock, okay? Yeah, you got to let me know when you get the package. Afterwards, the guys go to call me, okay? Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll let you know what's happening. No, Vlad. No, listen, Vlad. Russian. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Rich in culture. My favorite thing to do while I was there was just try and learn the Scottish accent. I butcher it, but I don't care. I have fun. What I do when I travel is I try to speak to people in their accent and see if they can catch me out. It's one of my favorite games. Like I'd walk into a store in Edinburgh and I'd just be like, good afternoon. I would like to buy a pair of shoes. You'd be like, where are you from? I'm from Scotland. Aye, what part? Johannesburg. I love it though. I love accents not just because they sound fun and it's an interesting thing to do. I love accents because I'm always impressed by how much power they have over us, over our minds. You know, when someone speaks a certain way, it changes how we feel about that person. You know, for good and for bad. We do it all the time. You know, you see some people in the streets, they speak to you, you think of them a different way. You see world leaders, they speak a certain way, you think of them a different way. You know, Barack Obama, one of the greatest examples of that. Everything about Barack Obama was by far the coolest president that has ever existed. Just everything about the man, you know? That confidence, the smile, the swag. Like, you know, when you notice Barack, like, I would notice it in the small things. Like when he'd step out of Air Force One. He did it like no other president in the world. Normally presidents step out of their airplane in like a frumpy manner. Like, you know, there's no class or skill, just like come out. But Barack, he wouldn't step out, he'd emerge. He'd emerge like he was stepping out of the plane and into a music video. You know, he'd just do that thing where he'd come out. And then he'd go down the stairs, doing it the only way he could, you know. The way he descended, it almost looked like every time he hit the ground, he was just gonna go into verse 1, you know? Just straight in, just like, girl, I wanna take you there, give you my Obamacare. Oh, man. Barack Obama's just too cool. You know, he had the walk, he had the talk. And that was the big thing a lot of people never realized about Barack Obama, is the talk. That's what really gave him the edge. He has a certain way of speaking, a certain voice that commands your attention, makes you feel about him a certain way. It's the accent, the way he speaks. And I don't know how many people realize this, but Nelson Mandela had the same thing. Yeah. See, the thing Barack Obama has in his voice, that is the voice of a first black president. Now, a lot of people didn't notice that because he was the first and last first black president of the United States. So you wouldn't know to compare. I'm lucky in that I've gotten to be, I've gotten to live in the country of 2 first black presidents, namely Nelson Mandela and Barack Obama. So I know what I'm talking about. They both have that thing. It's just difficult to hear because Nelson Mandela is obviously South African and he was older, but they both had that thing in the voice. When Nelson Mandela would speak, a room would silence. You could feel the energy.
I believe that every person, regardless of the color of their skin, should have equal rights, and they may never be taken again. To those who would seek to oppress, I say to you, never and never again.
And the people would lose their minds. And people would feel the chills because he had that thing. Like Nelson Mandela was destined for greatness because of that voice. He could not be a normal man with a voice like that. You can't do normal things with that voice. You are destined for greatness. You can't just be running around in the streets.
And the Kit Kat, please.
No. It's so unique. You can't be silly. What are you making, prank phone calls? Who the hell is this?
I'm not telling you.
It just doesn't work. I remember when Nelson Mandela was still alive and he would tell jokes at press conferences and events and no one would laugh. Because everyone thought a man who had been in jail for 27 years couldn't make a joke. And yet he still did. He still kept what was him. But it was partly because of that voice. He would tell the joke and it would just sound too epic for people to laugh. Everything he did, it'd just be like,
knock, knock.
He'd be like, let him in, let him in.
No. You must say, who's there?
He is so right. We've always got to ask, who's there? Who's here? Who are we? Oh my God. It was because of that voice. The first black president voice. And I'll never forget the day I saw a picture of Barack Obama meeting Nelson Mandela for the very first time. It's a beautiful image, and it's of the two men in silhouettes. In Chicago, Nelson Mandela sitting in a chair, Barack Obama leaning over him. And this was way back in the day. This was before Barack Obama was a blip on the presidential radar. He was a junior senator. Not many people knew his name. Back then, he was driving around in his own car, no motorcade, had his aide with him. And that day, they heard Nelson Mandela was going to be in Chicago meeting people. Barack Obama wanted to meet him his whole life. And so he rushed over there. And he was the last person Nelson Mandela saw, the last person he saw that day. And I always imagine Nelson Mandela was sitting in the room, and his assistant came over. She was like, Mr. Mandela, I know we said we are done, but unfortunately, there's just one person who would like to meet you, sir.
I was like, Zelda, I'm so tired. Can we leave?
No, I know you want to leave, Mr. Mandela, but there's a young man that you really need to meet. His name is Barack Hussein Obama.
Barack Hussein Obama. He's American.
Yes, that's correct.
He is going to have a tough time. Where is he?
He's right outside the door.
Okay, show him in. Show Barack in.
Okay, I'll be right back. And she went over to the door. She's like, Mr. Obama, Mr. Mandela will see you now. And Barack walked in. He was super excited to meet his idol. Nelson Mandela was sitting on the chair. He looked over.
Young Barack, how are you?
And Barack was like, oh man, Nelson Mandela, man, this is the craziest day of my life, man. I can't believe this shit right now. I can't believe I'm meeting Nelson Mandela for the first time, man. Oh man, I waited my whole life for this moment. I'm like, I won't be just like you, man. I read your books, man. I saw what you were doing in prison. I was like, I'm gonna be the first black president of America. I'm gonna do the same things you did, man. I'm gonna win those votes, and I'm gonna be the first black president of America. And Nelson Mandela was like,
not with that voice. You will scare the white people.
Oh man, Nelson Mandela, this is the greatest day of my life, man. Oh, I don't even understand how man, I just want to know from you, how do I do it? How do I do what you did? How do I become the first black president?
Well, first things first, we need to change that voice. You don't sound like you are going to lead anything.
I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what you mean.
You are speaking so fast. Slow it down. You are not being chased anymore. Well, I never thought of it like that, man. I never thought, slow down, slow down. Okay, I guess I do speak fast sometimes. I could slower than that. I could slow it down. I could slow it way down. Is this good? That's better. Now, you need to make sure you add some bass to your voice. I don't know why that's an issue. Imagine if I spoke like this. Do you think people would have voted for me? No, I would still be in jail. Bring some bass. Okay, I could try to I could try to bring some bass. Is that lower than that? I could go lower than that. Is that good? Lower than that. Lower, way down. I could keep it here. I can keep it here. That's better. Now, very important. To be a first black president, your pacing must be powerful. Every word must seem like the last you will ever speak.
Wow, that's powerful, Mr. Mandela. Let me try to speak like that. Does that work?
That's good. Very good.
I can feel it.
Yes, now for the magic touch. To be first black president, you need to have the husk. No more husky. That's it, you are getting it now. That's it. I think you've got it. Now repeat after me. America.
America.
No, the husk. Bring the husk back. America.
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 America. America. Yes, I can feel it. Say, this is my country.
This is my country.
Yes, this is my dream.
This is my dream.
Yes, I can feel it. You are going to be the first black president.
I don't know. Do you think we can do it?
Yes, we can.
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 You've got it right. Now go get them, my nigga.
Rhetoric, but if you expanded your view, you realized that the rise of nationalism is taking place all over the world. In Austria, in Australia, in England, that was what Brexit was all about, right? They made it seem like it was about the economy, but it wasn't. The truth was, it was fundamentally people who wanted their country back. It never went anywhere, but they still wanted it back. I saw people on the news talking to the BBC. That's why I'm voting for Brexit. That's why I'm voting for Brexit, right? Because this bloody country is going to the dogs, right? This bloody country, and I want Britain back. That's why we're voting for Brexit, because we want Britain back. From who? From who? Britain is like 95% white. Who do you want it back from? People saying the weirdest things, the craziest things. These bloody immigrants, they come over here, they're up to no good, right? I hate these bloody immigrants, they need to go back to where they came from. But why do you hate them so much? I'll tell you why I hate them. I'll tell you why, right? Because they're not even trying to be British. That's why. They don't even try to be British, right? They come here, they bring their own bloody culture, right? They bring their own food, speak their own bloody languages, try to take over the whole bloody place. Well, that sounds British to me. I mean... If there's one country, if there's one nation in the world that has no right to complain about immigration, it's Great Britain. If there's one nation in particular You do understand, they created the problem that they are now dealing with. They went out and colonized the world. At one point, half of the globe was controlled by the British Empire. Do you understand how insane that is? They went around colonizing from pillar to post. People didn't care about them. No one was trying to find the British. The British were the ones traveling the world, telling everyone of their existence, knocking on doors. Hey, we're the British, follow us. It's basically ancient Twitter, that's what that was. And I'm not saying the British are bad people, by the way. You know? I understand that colonization was something that was popular at one time. Many European countries participated in it. But the British were the best. You know, they were the best. And it's not because they were bad. I think I blame it on the weather. That's what I think happened. I think they have bad weather, and bad weather makes you a bad person. Yeah, because if you think about it, there was no one from a tropical climate who was trying to take over the world. You don't ever hear stories of Caribbean conquerors. Yeah, there's no stories of like Troy the Terrible from Trinidad. You don't hear these stories. There's no need for that. When the weather's horrible, you want to go somewhere else and take it from somebody. If you're living in a beautiful paradise, you have no need to leave. Can you imagine that scene? Just some random handsome guys hanging out on a beach in the Caribbean. One looking at the other out of nowhere. Darius! Darius! What, Troy? I was thinking, bro. Stay with me here, I was thinking, right? We should build boats, sail around the world, and force everyone to dance calypso. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. The British colonized with class. They went all over the globe. And you know, colonization, we read about it now, and it seems normal, because it's in a history book. They colonize. But when you think about colonization, it is the strangest thing you can think about. Because conquering is one thing. You go to another country, you take what's theirs. You want more. You take the land, you take the resources, you kill the people. That I understand. But colonization, I don't condone, I understand. But colonization is strange, because you go there and you don't just take over. You then force the people to become you. That is such a strange concept. When you think about where the British did it, I mean, they did it in Africa, they did it in Asia. And think about in India. Those cultures could not be more diametrically opposed. And out of nowhere, the British just decided to roll up. Imagine what the Indians must have felt like on that day. Minding your own business, walking through a field. Next thing you know, the British showed up on horseback. Hear ye, hear ye. By order of Her Majesty the Queen, we have arrived. You over there, what is the name of this land? This land over here? This is called India. Well, my good man, I am here to tell you that India is now under the British Empire. And I'm glad that I can tell you that India is exactly where it was yesterday. No, I feel you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm letting you know that we're here to colonize you by order of the Queen. Who is the Queen? The Queen of England, the ruler of Great Britain. She who was ordained by God. Which God? God. The one true God. There are many gods, my friend. What is the name of your God? There is only one God, and his name is God, and you too shall worship him. You want me to worship a God, but you don't want to tell me his name? What are you talking about? There are many gods, okay? There is Shiva, there is Lakshmi, there is Hare Krishna, there are many gods. What is the name of your God? His name is God. You don't know the name of your God? It's just God. Is it like mommy or daddy? You want me to worship your God, but you don't want me to tell me his name, huh? How am I going to pray to him? What do I do? Every morning I go to wake up and I pray like, oh, dear God, I was hoping that maybe God, you could help me. No, sorry, not you, other God. No, other God. No, not wrong God. No, God, I was trying to talk to other. No, you're right. I should have asked for her first name. No, God. No, other God, please. No, God behind that God. No, not you today, God. Other God. You're right. He told me he would know I was talking to, and I don't. No, other God, please. That God on that. No, that God. Then I wonder why my prayers are not getting answered, huh?
How dare you speak to me like that? Do you know who I am?
No, because you never introduced yourself.
I have come here representing Great Britain.
And I have never heard of Great Britain. Who gave you that name? Well, we did. You called yourselves great? Isn't that a little presumptuous? Shouldn't you wait for other people to tell you how great you are? Huh? Shouldn't you just go around the world and just do good things? Then people go, oh my God, Britain, look how great you are.
Well, I beg to differ. I believe we could do it because we knew instinctively. We are Great Britain.
Well, in that case, welcome to Great India.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. How dare you speak to me like this?
Look, you're the one who dares to speak to me, okay? I was here minding my own business in my land. You came over here riding on your skinny cow telling me that things are going to change. I don't know who you are. All I know is you are really crazy, okay? You're not feeling too right, and I didn't want to say anything, but you look like you're going to faint. In fact, it looks like you have died last week, okay? Something is very wrong with your skin. You're not looking good, my friend. Maybe you should come down. We have a curry. We talk about this.
What are you talking about? I look quite normal.
You do not look normal, my friend. I've never seen anybody with that complexion in my life, okay? You look like you're playing hide and seek with the sun your entire life. I don't know what is happening, but that is not how a person should look, huh? I can see your veins pumping through your skin right now. Do you know how creepy that is? Pumping. If I was your doctor, I don't need X-ray machine. I just go, what is problem? It is your kidney. How do I know? Because you're translucent. That is how I know.
Damn you, we are going to run this country whether you like it or not.
We are not going to do anything you tell us. You're a madman.
We are going to take it. You're not taking. We're going...
She's all yours. Take. Don't play nice. Take.
And that's how the British took over. That's how they took over India.
And then, many years later, the British, after they were done pillaging, left and went back home. And so it only stands to reason that those Indians, who they had now made British, would seek out the land from whence they came. I don't understand why British people are complaining, going, why are they coming here? Why the hell are you coming here? Because you told us how great it was, so we came to see for ourselves.
No. Go back to where you came from. Go back. You're not welcome here. This is not your home.
But you said we are all part of the British Empire.
No, when I said part, I meant you are under us, right? We're the British. You are the empire.
What do you mean?
We are the British and you are the empire.
Okay, well in that case, the empire strikes back. Now make some curry and tell me where we're sitting, okay? Let's go.